confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 1,211,733. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 22,580. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 6,918, with total confirmed deaths at 188. We anticipate those numbers to increase as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Jin Chen, filling in for Ben McCain. It's 4 p.m. on Thursday, March 18th. The number of new COVID-19 cases in nursing homes throughout the county continues to significantly decline as more vaccines are administered. The LA County Department of Public Health reported that at least 3/4 of the skilled nursing home staff and residents have received at least the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, with 74% of all staff and 69% of residents having received their second dose and fully vaccinated. In late December, the average number of daily new cases was more than 200 in skilled nursing homes. As of last week, that number has dropped down to an average of 3 per day. This is great news as evidence shows these vaccines are working and adding a much-needed layer of protection to those with a significant risk of exposure, like healthcare workers and those most vulnerable, like the residents in the skilled nursing facilities. Last week, the state hit its goal of vaccinating 2 million people who are living in communities across the state with the lowest scored on the Healthy Places Index. They've set an additional goal of vaccinating 4 million people in these areas. Last week, 32% of the people vaccinated in LA County were those who lived in communities with the lowest HPI score. The Los Angeles County continues its mission to fight hunger one event at a time. Today, the county hosted its 100th drive-through food distribution event in the West Lake area, where staffers loaded emergency meal kits and 50-pound food boxes to the cars that pulled through. This will help hundreds of needy residents experiencing food insecurities. County officials partnered with LA Regional Food Bank to mark this important one-year COVID-19 milestone, providing 10 million pounds of food to families in need. The event took place at Good Samaritan Hospital this morning. County officials say 1 in 4 county residents have experienced an instance of food insecurity since the start of the pandemic. Well, despite many restaurants and businesses reopening their indoor operations, a new poll is finding that many are still feeling reluctant about going back. Now, nearly 1,000 California voters were polled by Emerson College and Nexstar Broadcasting, Inc. They asked, would you go to an outdoor sporting event at this time? Well, 42% voted yes, while almost 46% voted no, and 11% voted unsure. And when asked if they would dine indoors at a restaurant right now, well, 43% voted yes, almost 50% voted no, and 6% voted unsure. With COVID numbers continuing to trend downward, 90% of the state's population will have the option to dine out, whether it's indoors or outdoors, as well as hit the gym at limited capacity, as a majority of California's most populous counties are now in the red tier. Now, this was interesting to see. Of the participants that were polled, 61% between the ages of 18 to 29 said they would not eat indoors, while nearly half of those 50 and older said they would. A similar age trend was found for sporting events, with nearly half of those over 50 willing to attend, while only a little over a third were interested that were in the 18 to 29 age group. Well, major cinema chains have begun inviting moviegoers back to the theater at limited capacity. Cinemark confirmed many of their locations throughout Southern California would reopen by this weekend, and with an extensive list of blockbuster movies set to release this summer and nearly 90% of their U.S. operations expected to open, officials say there's no better time to get back to the theater. AMC, the nation's largest chain, announced its remaining 23 locations will open tomorrow, and nearly all of its 56 California multiplexes would reopen this weekend as well. There are 525 AMC locations throughout the country. Company officials say AMC's safe and clean policies and protocols have been put in place to ensure guests and employees are offered a safe and healthy place to enjoy movies on the big screen again. There will also be social distancing measures in place, along with automatic seat blocking in each auditorium. Mandatory mask wearing and upgraded air filtration systems are in place, as well as other sanitization and cleanliness efforts. Regal and ArcLight cinemas have not yet set a reopening date. Well, the highly anticipated and sold out A Touch of Disney kicks off today. The limited ticketed event offers a unique dining and shopping experience at Disney's California Adventure. And while rides won't be offered at this time, a limited number of guests will be able to enjoy food from a number of restaurants and vendors, as well as access inside restaurants that were exclusive to members only. Now, some of the safety measures in place include temperature screenings. The entrances have new wraparound plexiglass safety covers to protect cast members and guests, as well as increased cleanliness and sanitization protocols. The ticket price includes parking, a $25 dining card, and unlimited digital downloads of Disney PhotoPass photos captured during the day. While the ticketing queue has closed, the website says dates, ticket availability, and prices for A Touch of Disney will be released on a rolling basis until the experience ends, and to check back for updates. Now, Disneyland Resorts did announce their Anaheim-based theme park would reopen to the public on April 30th to California residents at just 15% capacity. The park will operate under a new reservation system designed to enforce capacity limits and promote physical distancing. Face coverings will be required, and the facilities will have enhanced cleaning procedures and modify certain experiences at the theme park. They plan to reopen in phases, with Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa set to reopen with limited capacity starting April 29th. This is also great news for cast members, as nearly 10,000 employees will be returning to work in preparation for the theme park's reopening. Well, Californians who've experienced a financial hardship due to the coronavirus and have had a hard time making rent can now apply for the state's COVID-19 rent relief program, which is designed to help pay for past due rent. Renters and landlords can check eligibility and apply by visiting housingiskey.com or by calling this toll-free number 833-430-2122. California Governor Gavin Newsom said this state has the strongest eviction protection in the nation, and the state will provide greatly needed financial support to both renters and small property owners in need of assistance to pay their mortgage, with a focus on racial and geographic equity. Now, this program was created by the COVID-19 Tenant Relief Act, which was signed by Newsom back in January. Funding comes from the $2.6 billion in federal emergency rental assistance programs to states and local jurisdictions. It said that an estimated 1.5 million California families, frontline workers, and low-wage earners are behind on their rent due to the economic fallout of this pandemic, and the California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program will be a lifeline to renters and landlords. Now, if landlords choose to participate, they will receive 80% of an eligible tenant's unpaid rent for the period of April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021. Now, this means they are agreeing to waive the remaining 20% of the unpaid rent. Now, if eligible renters have landlords who choose not to participate in the program, they can still be eligible to receive payments of 25% of their unpaid rent accrued from April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2021, which would help them from getting evicted. Now, again, to learn more, go to housingiskey.com or call 833-430-2122. A local hospital received top recognition this week. Providence Little Company of Mary Medical Center Torrance was listed among Newsweek's World's Best Hospital 2021 list. It was ranked among 330 U.S. hospitals, including 2,000 hospitals across the globe from 21 countries. Hospital officials say this recognition is a testament to their hardworking physicians and caregivers who have worked tirelessly throughout this pandemic to bring the highest level of care and compassion to the community. Gary Olney, a chief executive at Providence, says the honor is part of a collaboration among experts across 7 states and the 52-hospital Providence Health System, which upholds the organization's mission, values, and promise. Little Company of Mary is also a magnet hospital, a national accreditation that indicates their hospital's nurses are in the top 8% in the nation in terms of quality. Now, Providence Little Company of Mary Torrance also recently partnered with the City of Torrance and the Torrance Unified School District to help administer vaccinations to our first responders, emergency services employees, our teachers, and school staff members, a collaborative effort which has helped to inoculate more than 1,200 people. Now, this prestigious award is presented by Newsweek and Statista, Inc. Americans will now have an extra month or so to get their taxes prepared. The Internal Revenue Service and the Treasury Department officially announced the agencies will postpone the deadline from April 15th to May 17th. The IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick said in a statement that this continues to be a tough time for many people, and the IRS wants to continue to do everything possible to help taxpayers navigate the unusual circumstances related to the pandemic, while also working on important tax administration responsibilities. Now, taxpayers can not only delay payment of any money owed to the IRS until May 17th, but if payers still need more time to submit their returns, they can request an extension until October 15th. The extended deadline applies only to federal income returns and taxes. Now, beyond the tax changes made by the latest COVID bill, filing a tax return is extra important this year for many Americans, as it's the only way to recoup stimulus payments if you're eligible. Americans are urged to consider filing as soon as possible despite the new deadline, especially those who are owed refunds. Well, new technology may help one airline move through the airport with added convenience and security. American Airlines is currently testing biometric boarding at its Dallas-Fort Worth airport for some international flights. Now, instead of the standard boarding pass, passengers are able to scan their faces at a kiosk that verifies their identity with U.S. Customs and Border Protection at the gate. Airline officials say they hope to expand this technology to domestic flights in the next few months and also include technology in other parts of the airport experience, like at the baggage drop. Julie Rath, the VP of Customer Service for American Airlines, said they hope to make traveling an easy customer experience as more begin to feel comfortable flying again. This past weekend, the Transportation Security Authority reported the highest number of passengers to travel through checkpoints throughout the U.S. as nearly 1.3 million people were screened. Other airlines like Delta have also turned to touchless technology. Well, U.S. jobless claims are still on the rise as the number of Americans seeking unemployment benefits rose last week to 770,000. In the latest report published by the U.S. Department of Labor, it showed that the number claimed rose from 725,000 from the week before. Now, before the pandemic struck, applications for unemployment had never topped 700,000 in any given week. Now, a total of 4.1 million people continue to collect traditional state unemployment benefits, which is down 18% from the previous week. Overall, industry experts say the job market is showing signs of improvement as U.S. employers added close to 380,000 jobs last month, the most since October. California reported an uptick in job loss applications due to layoffs at bars, restaurants, retailers, and other service-based industries which have been hardest hit by the pandemic. President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion relief package is expected to help the economy, with 85% of Americans eligible to receive the $1,400 stimulus check, which should fuel spending. Well, Saturday, March 20th marks the official first day of the spring season, which means we get to finally say goodbye to winter. Also called the vernal equinox, and under astronomical calculations of the seasons, which is based on 2 equinoxes and 2 solstices, the spring season will remain until June 21st. The equinoxes take place 2 days each year, where the sun passes exactly over the equator and the length of day and night are equal, receiving 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. Now, this year, those days fall on March 20th and on September 22nd. Now, in many cultures, the vernal equinox marks a time of new beginnings and bountiful spring harvest. Well, as we wrap up this week, be sure to tune in to Weekends in Torrance beginning Friday right here on City Cable. New episodes air at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. As we celebrate Women's History Month, we visit with Polypeptide's CEO, Jane Selleck, to hear her extraordinary story of success in the biotech industry. Then find out what inspired the owner of Dropout Cyclery to open a new business during a pandemic and why it's been a saving grace to many. And finally, if you're thinking about returning to the salon and giving your hair some much needed TLC, we take you inside one local business and show you the cautionary measures that are in place to ensure a safe and comfortable visit. These stories and much more kicks off tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can find us on Spectrum Cable Channel 3, Verizon Fios Channel 31, streaming on our website as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Well, throughout the pandemic, the most vulnerable members of our community have been hit the hardest. And thanks to a local group of residents, they're raising not only awareness, but offering support to those in need. The Torrance Social Services Commission, which was established in 2016, was designed to address issues concerning the city's veterans, those experiencing homelessness, adults with developmental disabilities, and children with special needs. And this week they launched their annual toiletry drive and hope the community will help in their efforts. They're asking for brand new full or travel size hand sanitizer, body wipes, bath towels, feminine hygiene products, razors, shaving lotion, socks, toothbrush and toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, or bar soap. Collection boxes are located at the City Hall lobby and the Community Development Department's Permit Center, as well as 2 opportunities to drive up and drop off as well. Those take place this Saturday, March 20th, and next Saturday, March 27th, in front of the West Annex and City Hall parking lot along Torrance Boulevard. You can get more information online. Go to torranceca.gov/help others. What a great way to show how Torrance cares for one another, especially those who need it most. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be back on Monday as Leslie Robbins brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.